Alright, here we are. I'm going to start with this as video 1, even though I'm backtracking. I'll have to backtrack a little bit. This is the first video on the cell cycle, and those of you using the video, take out your diagram that you need to label. Remember, you can either label the front, label everything on the back, or cut out the diagrams and put them into your spiral-bound notebook. So, I'll start. Cells undergo an orderly sequence of events as they grow and divide. The sequence shown in the following slides is a typical cell cycle in an animal cell. Plant cells have somewhat different cell cycles. The first stage is called interphase. Interphase is the first stage of the cell cycle. It is the period before cell division occurs. During interphase, the cell grows to its mature size, makes a copy of its DNA, and prepares to divide into two cells. So here it's really just growth. It grows to like an adult size, we'll say. Prepares for division. It doubles its DNA. That's the first step. Now the second step is actually called 2A, mitosis prophase. We're not going to go over all the parts here because you don't need to know them. Mitosis occurs when the cell's nucleus divides in two. In prophase, the first phase of mitosis, the chromatin in the nucleus condenses to form chromosomes. Also, I'm just going to ad-lib here, the nuclear membrane starts to dissolve. So if you look at this diagram, you'll see these are chromosomes. We'll talk about those a little bit later, but notice they look like these X's. And the nucleus, the nuclear membrane, starts to dissolve. These are just some other parts that are included, but we don't need to know them right now. This is 2B, called mitosis metaphase. You'll notice during metaphase, all of the chromosomes line up along the middle of the cell. So what we say is metaphase in the middle. Again, even though there are some other parts, you can just ignore those for now. But chromosomes will line up along the middle of the cell during mitosis metaphase. This is part 2C, mitosis anaphase. You'll notice during mitosis anaphase, the cell elongates, it gets longer, starts to stretch out. The chromosomes get split in half, but they are copies of each other, so it is equal. Remember in interphase, it made a copy of its DNA, so there's a same copy on each half. And those chromosome halves are now pulled out to the edge of the cell. So the cell elongates, the chromosomes are split, and the chromosomes kind of are pulled to the outer edges of the cell. Next is step 2D, mitosis telophase. Now in telophase, look what happens. The chromosomes sort of form here, but it actually says that they start to break down and it actually becomes DNA again. You know, it doesn't really show well here, but you'll see in the next diagram. And the nuclear membrane returns. So now you have this, it's still one cell, but it's got two nuclei in that one cell. And again, you'll see in the next diagram that the chromosomes begin to break down. They start to, as it says, they lose their rod-like appearance and they actually become DNA again. Final step is step 3, cytokinesis. So you can see in cytokinesis you have two completely separate cells. They've broken apart. The nucleus now looks like it did in the very first step. All this DNA looks like a pile of string in there. And you have two new, what are called daughter cells. They're about half the size of a regular cell, and they have about half the number of organelles as a regular cell. And here's the whole diagram showing everything that happens. So cytokinesis shows that it's the end. And then each of these cells will begin interphase again. They'll grow to a mature size and again go through the entire cell cycle. And this is a non-stop process.